Catus Maximus here, this time with just a quick video about this breaker bar. I believe it's a Western Giant, but it does not have any stamping on it. It could be a fleet. It is made in the USA. I just go by the fact that the alloy is similar printing to the word alloy on this socket, which is an old 31/32 Western Giant. Never actually heard of this tool company, but I have been trying to collect up 32nd sockets. A neat fact, if you have a full set of 32nd sockets, you don't need metric because you'll have enough fractional sockets that you'll be able to find one that's almost exactly the right size. Kind of a neat fact. As far as the socket, it's actually pretty well made. This is before they started doing flank drive. I do like the knurling on the socket. I wish they did that more often. No holes, no undercuts. I found on older tools a lot of manufacturers will put holes to retain for the ball detent, but they don't do the little recesses. I think it's just because it was a more expensive process. As far as the breaker bar, it seems like a normal breaker bar. Older breaker bars, they did do permanently sealed rivets, and then they stopped doing that, in probably the last 30 years or so, maybe even 40 years, where they started going with screws or other types of pins that were more easily replaceable, because in this case, this is not replaceable. If you break this, it ends up ruining the whole breaker bar. Isn't perfectly straight, and I found that actually on a surprising number of breaker bars, that when you're forging out long pieces of steel, you have to put in a significant amount of effort. After both the forging and the heat treating, you can even see it curves up a little bit, which is in the direction where it hinges, so it's really unlikely somebody was using this and then ended up do the warping. So you have to really put them into another process where you actually bend them back. And I could spend a little time. Maybe I'll make another video. I've already done one video about having to how to bend tools, and I probably should do another one with this. Although I can see that there's some funkiness right here, which indicates that the handle was forged, and then there's a second forging die to forge out the other end of the tool, because it just has a really odd jog and a little warpage right there, which is not something that would happen just from over torquing. Besides that, I like these classic ones with the big knurled handles. The hole isn't such a big deal, although in certain situations where you're working at elevation, ladders, scissor lifts, that type of stuff, these can be handy, because there are many situations where you would be using a breaker bar, and then you could put a lanyard or something on the tool to prevent it from dropping. Not a lot else to say besides they use a spring-loaded ball for the tension. It's actually pretty stiff, which I do like. And I like this design because it stands the test of time, and this will always work. It's not one of those springs where it's like inside and in a recess on the side of the anvil itself, which always seem to get worn out or compressed and don't have enough tension. So I like these, and I like the way it kind of wants to center. So anyway, I believe it's a Western Giant, maybe a fleet breaker bar, and certainly a Western Giant socket, but just wanted to make a little video about it because it's a brand I haven't done a video about before. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.